on Mediacom MC22 in game 72 out of 72. It's the Iowa Heartlanders and the Kansas City Mavericks, and chatting about today's game with Iowa Heartlanders head coach Damon. Derek, let's start with how the homestand has gone so far. Wednesday, maybe not the best. Last night seemed like the effort was there and a lot higher effort, but just the Heartlanders couldn't pull away to find through against the Kalamazoo Wings last night.
Yeah, for sure. The effort was definitely better last night. Felt like whenever they got an opportunity, they kind of cashed in on it. You know, a couple lucky bounces here and there, but I thought we had a much better effort compared to Wednesday night. Guys were dialed in defensively, just weren't able to get to the net. And their goalie, hats off to him. He played really well, made some key saves at key times of the game. And when your goalie does that, it just gives you a little bit of an emotional lift and makes you play a little bit harder.
The Heartlanders, a couple bad bounces the last few games. We were saying earlier today that sometimes pucks just find its way through traffic, find the top right corner, find the back of the net somehow. So what are some keys for the Heartlanders trying to pull some of the luck their way today against the Kansas City Mavericks?
Yeah, when you're not getting those bounces, you know, the tendency is you're trying to look to make a perfect play to, you know, try to make something happen out of nothing. When in reality, all you have to do is just put it on net and get to the net. As players, you make the game so much more complicated than it actually is at times. And instead of just simplifying your game, putting everything on net, getting to the net, make sure you get on inside position against their D, and then at the end of the day, you just got to bang in these pucks. The pucks usually are lying about 5 to 7 feet right in front of the goalie, and it's a battle of will. Who can get there and win those pucks?
Heartlanders are expecting a huge crowd today, attendance hasn't been announced officially yet, but that'll be the largest attendance in Extreme Arena history, and there still was, at least we're recording this a couple hours before the game, possibility of a sellout. So for us to be able to get to this point, you've been here since day one. What does it say about the growth of this organization?
I think it's incredible. You know, I think the front office is doing an unbelievable job trying to get people in the stands, and ultimately we want to get to our goal as on the ice product as, you know, being competitive in the playoff race and ultimately winning a Kelly Cup one day. And you know, to experience that first game in our inaugural season against Kansas City, it was just absolutely electric is something that I could describe that game. And so I'm really looking forward to tonight, and I think it's going to be an exciting time, and I think it's great that the community is supporting us like this.
Yeah, the Heartlanders again taking on the Kansas City Mavericks. So that was the first game in the inaugural season against Kansas City, and today the final game of Season 3 also against the Kansas City Mavericks. Talking about this season as a whole, a lot of really successful moments for this organization. Obviously, it's a little bit short of the goal of making the playoffs, but when you look back at how the team was competitive, the most one-goal games of any team in the league, a lot of longer win streaks than we had, especially last season, longer point streaks, and just the competitiveness of this group this year. What did you think about that?
Yeah, it just speaks to the character of the guys. You know, I think, you know, being in so many tight games, one-goal games, we became a little bit comfortable being in those games, which, you know, I thought, you know, in January and beginning of February, really we're trying to hit our stride there. And then just in March, kind of came up a little bit dry and offensively, and for whatever reason just weren't able to get, you know, cash in at opportune times, and weren't able to get some wins that, you know, would put us in the playoffs right now. And it's unfortunate that our season's ending after tonight, but there's a lot of positives to be taken from this year. Like you said, you know, the growth of the organization, you know, the leadership we have with Matt Getz as our president. You know, the front office is doing an outstanding job of, you know, getting out there and getting in the community and getting people to come. And there's just so many bright spots. And then on the ice, you know, there's people who've really stepped up and solidified themselves as really big leaders for this organization. Yuki Mura's had an outstanding year, and you know, he just keeps getting better and better each year he plays in this league. And really happy that he calls this place his home. And I think, you know, going forward, we're excited to see what he can do in the future.
He's playing, he actually kind of jumped the gun on what my question was going to be, because he's our player to watch tonight. It's his 143rd consecutive game, because he played the final 71 of last year, and then today will be his 72nd game. He's played in all 72 games, first player in team history to play in all 72 games. Heartlanders had a few come short in the inaugural season and last year as well. To play 143 consecutive games, given the 4 games in 5 nights in 4 cities that could happen, the travel, the bang-ups, the bruises, and Yuki's not the biggest guy in the world. What does that say about what he brings to the table?
He's a professional on and off the ice. The way he carries himself, he's a guy that shows up every day at the rink. true testament to his character. And give you an example, today is game 72 after a long season. Not a lot of guys are on the ice this morning, but one guy who is out there is Yuki Mira, and that just shows that every time he comes to the rink, he wants to get better, and he realizes that you can't take this game for granted, because if you do, somebody's out there to take your job, and Yuki is not going to allow that to happen. And that just is a testament to his character and type of player that he is. We're lucky to have him.
Derek, thanks. We're lucky to have you as well. Appreciate a great season of interviews. Appreciate all your help on the media side, and I know the MediaCom viewers do as well. Thanks again, Derek.
Thank you, David, and I have to say to you too, you are a true professional, and you do an unbelievable job with our organization and in the media and in the community, and we're lucky to have you as well, and I'm lucky to be able to work with you every day.
Well, I appreciate that so much, Derek, and we're going to take a quick time out. When we come right back around the bend, the Heartlanders and the Mavericks intermission report rolls on. It's Chris Peters and I back in the booth next here on MediaCom. MC22.